7 dangerous hamster products sold in the pet store. Unfortunately, we live in a world where not everything stocked on the shelves is safe for us or our pets. Big corporations have one thing in mind, and that is profit, so it's important for us to properly educate ourselves on dangerous products so that we can avoid them and not harm us or our pets. Hamster cars and hamster balls. Now, I've made an entire video dedicated to talking about why hamster balls and cars are not safe for hamsters, so I will leave that linked if you'd like to check that out, because I'm just going to quickly touch on the reasons why they're not safe. Number 1, they have lack of ventilation, and the ventilation slits are actually just slightly large enough for a hamster's toe or even a small paw to get caught in, which can obviously cause injuries like a broken foot. Number 2, hamsters have no way of stopping. It is a spherical, round plastic object, and once you get going, it's very hard to break or stop, so a hamster is very likely to crash into a wall or furniture or even roll downstairs, which obviously can cause injuries and be very stressful. Number 3, a hamster is forced to run in a ball because that is essentially the only thing they can do. There is no way to tell if your hamster actually likes running in a hamster ball because it is spherical. Once again, if you take a step, anytime you take a step, you are going to end up rolling. So just because your hamster's running doesn't mean they like it. Number 4, it prevents a hamster from using any of their natural senses, such as hearing, sense of smell, and their whiskers, which they use a lot of the times to judge distance, which it's very hard to do any of these things when you're in a plastic contraption. Overall, it's a really stressful experience for your hamster, and there are plenty of safe ways you can get your hamster out and exercising, such as a homemade playpen. These can be very cheap and easy. You can also use a store-bought playpen, a dry bathtub or a shower with a closing door, or a hamster-proofed room in which they can safely free roam in. Wire and mesh wheels. Wire and mesh wheels are very dangerous for a hamster because they have such small paws and limbs. It's very easy for them to get caught in the mesh or the wire. Also, think about if you were to try to run on a wire-runged wheel. How difficult would that be to start going really fast and then accidentally slip and fall into one of the rungs? Not only would you probably get caught and go around a couple of times, you may end up twisting your leg or something like that. Bumblefoot is another health issue that can be caused by wire and mesh wheels. Bumblefoot is when a hamster gets a wound on their paw, which is more likely to happen on a wire mesh wheel. They are a lot sharper and can very easily cause a cut. And this cut then proceeds to get infected, which causes a disgusting bubbling on the foot. And it's obviously very painful for your hamster because they have to walk on their foot. Many wire and mesh wheels also have a bar that goes across, and I firsthand have seen a hamster get its leg stuck in this bar and its back leg almost nearly got ripped off. So instead, opt for a safe, large, solid running surface, such as a Wodent wheel or a Silent Runner wheel. Both of these wheels are my all-time favorites, and they come in a variety of sizes, and they are very safe. Wet tail drops. These are drops to cure said wet tail. But what actually is wet tail? So on the back of the bottle, they claim that wet tail is a stress-induced disease. While this is partly true, and that stress does cause an animal to have a lowered immune system, therefore making it easier for bacteria and other things to harm them, wet tail isn't just caused by stress. Wet tail is a specific bacteria, Lawsonia intracellularis. I very much butchered that. And this is a bacteria that causes a thickening in the small intestine, which then proceeds to cause serious diarrhea, which is then called wet tail. Because when a hamster has pretty bad diarrhea, essentially their whole bottom becomes wet, including their tails, so that is why it's called wet tail. This bacteria is transmitted when a hamster ingests food or water that's been contaminated by the bacteria through poop. So if your hamster has been living at home for years, it's very unlikely for your hamster to have true wet tail because there's actually no way for them to come across this bacteria if they're living in your home, unless you've recently just brought home a new hamster. So your hamster is more likely to have just regular normal diarrhea or a bacteria that has very similar symptoms to true wet tail. So yes, a hamster who is stressed is more unlikely to be able to fight off these bacteria because their immune system is lowered. So the wet tail drops are actually more likely to cure regular diarrhea than they are to cure true wet tail. If your hamster has true wet tail, they are going to need to see a veterinarian who is going to prescribe you with hamster-safe antibiotics. They may also help your hamster with any dehydration and possibly force feed them. Waterless hamster shampoo. Yes, this exists. If you didn't already know, hamsters are not supposed to be bathed. It can very easily wreck their coat, as well as they can easily develop a cold if they're not dried off good enough. Hamsters groom themselves and they maintain their coats very well as long as you provide them with sand. Waterless shampoos should not be used on hamsters because, first of all, many of these waterless shampoos, the first ingredient is water, and the rest of the ingredients actually are very similar to a human shampoo, which if you didn't know, which most people don't know, human shampoos a lot of the times are really bad for you. They're bad for your hair, bad for your skin, they're bad for the environment. So you'll want to avoid using waterless hamster shampoos. If you think your hamster stinks and you don't like it, then I probably wouldn't suggest getting an animal because they are going to smell eventually. Pine and cedar shavings. Pine and cedar shavings, also known as softwood shavings, are very commonly found in the pet store. They come in a very huge bag for a very low price, and you're gonna think that's a great bargain, but it's not because they're dangerous. Both cedar and pine trees create special chemicals to protect the tree from bugs trying to eat it, as well as funguses, which is great for the tree. Yay, the tree can protect itself. But it's not great for your animal who's going to have to live on it. Cedar produces placactic acid, which is known to kill body cells, which if you didn't know, all the cells in your body are super important and you don't want them being killed off. Another thing is that it is a inhalation hazard to woodworkers. These are people who work around it, so that means they're only working around it for a certain amount of time, but it's still an inhalation hazard. Your small animal is living on this 24/7. And they have a way smaller respiratory than a human. So just think about how much more that would affect a small animal. Pine contains a similar chemical, and instead it is called abatic acid, and it is known as a skin and respiratory irritant. Long-term use of these beddings can result in skin irritations, which can lead to fur loss and allergies, as well as upper respiratory infections, which is something you don't want to deal with. I promise you, if you can't get it treated soon enough, your hamster will end up dying. Instead, use a safe hamster bedding. There are plenty on the market. There is paper-based beddings, which most of them are safe as long as they're not scented. You can also use aspen shavings and hemp shavings, and these are basically the only two shavings I know of that are safe, and they don't contain the same chemicals pine and cedar do. Cotton nesting. Cotton is very easily found in the pet store. It may come under other names such as cotton fluff or fluff nesting or bamboo cotton nesting. And it makes it seem like a good idea because it looks super soft and warm and your hamster's gonna have a good night's sleep. But unfortunately, it's unsafe. Cotton fluff has long stranded fibers which make it very easy for it to get wrapped around limbs, fingers, nails, even teeth when your hamster is pouching it. Now because it's long stranded, this also makes it very hard for an animal to rip it apart or break it apart. So if it gets wrapped around a limb, a hamster may struggle to remove it, and if they can't remove it and you don't notice in time, they can end up with circulation loss, and if it prolongs long enough, your hamster can lose a limb. Or some animals, if they realize their limb is going numb, they will chew it off. Something you don't want your pet to go through. Cotton fluff is an unnecessary expense when there are way safer options out there that are cheaper, such as toilet paper. This is a digestible and shreddable and rippable material that most people have at home, so it is pretty cost friendly. And lastly, hamster leashes. Hamsters are animals that should never be put on a leash. They should not be walked like a dog. They are very small and fragile animals. In order to actually put a harness or leash on your hamster, you would have to put it on pretty tightly because they are pretty fluffy, and so in order for them to not squeeze out, you're gonna have to put it pretty tight on them, which not only is going to be uncomfortable for a hamster because most hamsters don't want to feel squeezed, they also can
From Mike Tyson to Michael Jackson, celebrities have popularized the idea of owning some of the most exotic animals as house pets.
Oh god, oh Jesus.
But what about something a little smaller and cuter? From baby lions to tigers to skunks, there are some pretty cute and rare animals you'd be surprised you can actually own, at least in some parts of the world.
Run.
Welcome to another episode of Forever Green. Today, we're counting down 9 of the cutest baby animals you can actually own. Let's get started. Number 9. Baby Wombat. They are also an endangered species, and yet there are no laws against owning them in several countries. If you do get one, you need to make sure to train them not to bite and to give them plenty of room to fly. Did we just say fly? Yup. Despite their bulky appearance being the farthest thing from that of a sugar glider or flying squirrel, these Australian marsupials are capable of flying short distances. They use hyperventilation to inflate themselves into a sort of furry balloon and can travel from branch to branch and tree to tree, usually under cover of darkness. What's more, they make for interesting pets. Just check out this wombat who thinks it's a dog. However, for those of you looking to adopt one of these cute and cuddly companions, you should know that adult wombats can become aggressive and dangerous at times, and therefore need to be carefully domesticated. Number 8. Baby Tamandua. What's this cute little thing called, a tamadua? The tamadua is a member of the anteater family native to Central and South America, and is usually seen as a bit of a nuisance by its human neighbors. But as a pet, just look at this baby tamadua. But before you go thinking about using one of these guys for pest control, think again. Tamanduas are extremely picky eaters and only consume ants from the area they are native to. That being said, you could still own one outside of its natural habitat, as tamanduas are omnivores that eat all kinds of other foods, but they do require a variety of foods to be happy and healthy. The 10-pound Tamandua is especially popular and makes a cuddly, easygoing companion in many parts of the world. Owning a Tamandua isn't even an unheard of trend. It's been 50 years since the eccentric artist Salvador Dali was photographed in walking his pet anteater down the streets of Paris. Before we move on to our next cutest baby animal, we have a quick challenge that'll just take 5 seconds to complete. Here's the deal. Leave us a like, smash that subscribe button, and turn on notifications, and you'll win 10 years of incredible luck. Try it. It actually works. Number 7. Baby tiger. Did you know the majority of tigers in the United States live as pets and not in the wild? One of the world's largest populations of privately owned tigers exists in the United States. With an estimated 5,000 tigers, the U.S. captive tiger population exceeds the approximately 3,200 tigers living in the wild. Some of them are even owned by celebrities, such as Mike Tyson. And while it may sound thrilling at first, caring for a tiger can be a serious challenge. While you can start them off on milk as babies, eventually, a full-grown tiger's diet can go on to consist of up to 88 pounds of meat in one sitting. And it'll need space too. A tiger's enclosure should be as big as 40 square miles. Plus, you'll always need to keep an eye out. While studies do show tigers can peacefully coexist with humans, any frustrated, cooped-up cat has the capacity to lash out. But look at these baby tigers. Aren't they just cute? Number 6. Baby sloths. Two-toed sloths are the darlings of the exotic pet world, and for good reason. Owned by celebrities like actress Kristen Bell, these slow-moving, tree-dwelling creatures are just irresistible, especially as babies. They're in fact so cute that a video of Kristen Bell bursting into tears upon meeting a two-toed sloth went viral. But like tigers, they are not easily domesticated creatures. Two-toed sloths are high-maintenance creatures that are used to living in highly tropical, wild habitats. Habitats not easily duplicated by pet owners in the Western world. Even though sloths are legal to own in some countries in the world, the American Sloth Conservation Foundation warns pet owners not to mistake their cute and slow-moving nature for comfort. Stillness is actually a defense mechanism they've developed to blend in with the environment when they feel threatened by predators. Number 5. Baby llama. If you're feeling stressed out and the slowness of sloths isn't enough to get you to chill out, consider adopting a pet llama. The cool, low-key llama is often used as a therapy animal, which is why it makes such a great family pet, in the countries where it's legal to own one, of course. Llama spit is filled with their stomach's gastric juice, which can be somewhat acidic and painful. But unless you give your llama a reason to feel threatened, it's unlikely they'll have a go at you. Besides that, a pet llama is loyal, affectionate, clean, and generally low maintenance as long as it's got plenty of space to move around. And preferably a furry companion by its side, as llamas are naturally herd animals. Need another good reason to adopt a couple of these cute creatures? It turns out, llamas are just as effective as guard dogs when it comes to scaring off predators. Number 4. Muntjac deer. Many would say there's no cuter baby animal than Bambi, but just imagine the amount of space you'll need in your backyard once it's all grown up. That's why you might want to opt for a muntjac deer. Originating in South Asia, the muntjac deer is a small species that makes for a great pet. These little guys are easily domesticated and can even learn how to use a litter box, just like a cat. What's more, they barely shed hairs and are pretty independent and low maintenance. Muntjacs can be kept both indoors or outdoors and enjoy a pretty uncomplicated diet of greens, fruit, and bread. But perhaps the best thing about them is that these deers aren't shy whatsoever. Moonjacks are cuddly, affectionate, and have been known to spend their days following their owners around wherever they go. If right about now you're considering trading in your cat or dog for a moonjack, we couldn't blame you. Number 3. Baby skunks. Wow, hold on a second. Who would want to own a smelly little skunk? Well, here's some news. Owning a skunk isn't nearly as stinky as it sounds. But most domestic skunks have been bred in captivity, where they've had their scent glands removed at a very young age. With all that stink out of the equation, all you're left with is one of the cutest, most playful baby animals you've ever met. Some animal rights advocates call the practice inhumane, as descented skunks likely wouldn't survive in the wild if they got lost. But any proud skunk owner will tell you that a well-fed skunk that gets a lot of attention, affection, and discipline likely won't ever want to stray far from home. We'll leave it up to you to decide whether you'd own one or not. But if there's one thing you can't argue with, it's the cuteness of these baby animals. Number 2. Baby fennec fox. Owning a baby fox is just as cute as it is cool. But what's cuter than the fennec fox with its huge ears? The fennec fox is the smallest breed in the fox family. It normally calls the Sahara Desert home. They have a lifespan of 12 to 16 years, about the same as a domesticated dog. What's more, they don't have a musk gland, which means that unlike your regular red foxes, they barely have any natural odor. Fennecs are also very playful and high energy, and require a good amount of room to run around. Mind you, they won't need the open expanse of a deer or tiger, but if they aren't given the entire run of the house, they should at least have a whole bedroom to themselves. These active furry critters require quite a bit of stimulation. So be sure you're really ready for the commitment, because raising a fennec is a lot like raising a child. But hey, most will say those ears are well worth it. It's now time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber wondering about this cute and cuddly white bat. If you come across a mysterious photo online and want us to look into it, just send it over, and we may even feature it on a future video. We looked into this creature, and it turns out this puffy creature won't swoop in and bite you if you give it the proper love it needs and feed it before midnight. Jokes aside, this photo is of a plush bat, and that looks very realistic, doesn't it? The wings can be left straight out or folded to pose the bat in a more upright position. Perhaps the closest real-life animal to this cute and fluffy creature is the Honduran white bat. Number 1. Baby Honduran white bat. Honduran white bats are unique to all bats in that they have a distinctive, completely white fur which occurs in only 3 of well over 1,300 species of bat. They have a yellow leaf-shaped nose and ears, and a black membrane on their wings. Could you own one of these cuties as a pet? Technically, yes, but it's a heck of an undertaking. While they may not require a lot of space, replicating the exact environment needed for a Honduran white bat to survive in captivity would be close to impossible. Aside from not meeting their highly specific roosting requirements, which can lead to serious health problems with these bats, you would also need access to an endless supply of the one-of-a-kind fig they eat. Good luck with that. And that's it for the 9 cutest baby animals you can own. Do you agree with our picks, or did we miss out on a particular baby animal? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, you should definitely check out our related video.
And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you my daily pet care routine. So this will be including the cats as well as the hermit crabs and the bunnies. Now I do want to mention that I am taking care of my mom's cats for the winter, just for the next 3 months, so you will see 2 more cats in this video. They are not mine, they are my parents. But as you can see here, I am preparing the cats' food in the morning. So Milo and Shadow are eating raw food. Clara eats canned food. Shadow and Clara are my mom's cats. So that's what I'm doing here, and as you can see, Milo is eating, but he couldn't really pay attention to eating with a camera in his face, so I had to stop filming him. And then we have Shadow, and he is gobbling up his food as well. Bunnies their veggies, so I'm just making their salad right now, and I just rip it apart so that it's easier to mix up and separate. And then for Sterling and Ebony, I scatter feed them, so I kind of just like throw it into their room, and then for Lulu, she eats off of the veggie plates. And then after I feed her, I go ahead and I put the baby gate in front of her door as well as this fence so that the other bunnies don't like smell her or fight under the door. And then I let Sterling and Ebony out for the day. Then I go ahead and give Ebony her medication for her liver. And then the bunnies just enjoy this time to play with their toys. I try to keep their special fun toys out in their playtime area so it makes it more fun and exciting. If you guys are looking for some really fun, cool Willow toys or other fun toys that your bunnies might like, you can check out my shop at 101rabbits.com. I'll have it linked in the iCard. And then during the day, I do have to give Milo some more food because he doesn't finish it all in the morning. And then on most weekdays, I have doctor's appointments, so I have to go ahead and close Sterling and Ebony's door so that they aren't out in the playtime area. I do this just for safety reasons, as I have cats and I don't want anything to happen. And then when I come home, I check on the bunnies and I let out Sterling and Ebony so they can come play again. And now it's time for nighttime again, so I feed the cats, kind of the same thing as in the morning. I just go ahead and spoon out all of same thing I do in the morning, not anything much different. And then I go ahead and or red light therapy, and it takes 15 minutes, so I tend to watch a YouTube video while I do it, just so that I'm not just sitting there staring into the abyss. But she doesn't really enjoy it, but she does pretty well with it. So on this particular day, she did have some hair in her eye, and she can't groom it herself, so I did have to rinse it with saline. And then I go ahead and clean the hermit crab's water dish. So I only do this about once a week, but it happened to fall on the day I was filming this video. I totally did not plan this at all, but my hermit crabs have been molting for about 2 months, so I haven't seen any of them for 2 months, and suddenly 2 of them came up today. So I had a lot of hermit crab stuff I had to do. So I do rinse the water dishes under water, but then I dry them off very well with paper towel because hermit crabs cannot have tap water. And then here I am just setting up their water bubblers and feeding them. I just use some of this dry food from Claw of the Wild on Etsy. I really love her shop. And then here I'm just kind of reorganizing some things because the tank has kind of been a little bit messy because they've just been underground for a while. So I'm just trying to like spice it up a little bit, but I am planning on totally redoing their tank, hopefully in the next couple of months, because I did get this new topper and I want to add like shelves and climbing things and stuff. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. And then I decided to go ahead and boil their shells because they were quite dirty, and I hadn't done it in a while because again, they were underground. So here I am just putting the shells into a pot of water, and then I am going ahead and boiling it. You're supposed to boil it for about 10 minutes. I don't really time it, I just kind of estimate. But here I am just using hot water to clean their shell shop. And then it is time to scoop the cat litter boxes. So I use this really weird hoodie to scoop the cat boxes because the litter I'm currently using is quite dusty and I don't really like it getting in my hair and stuff. As you can see in the background, I'm planning on switching to new litter that I bought on Black Friday, but I haven't had the chance to switch them over yet. So some cats can be a little bit picky when switching litter. So for now, I'm just using this clay litter, but I'm hoping to switch to either the World's Best cat litter or grass seed litter, just whatever they prefer. And so here I'm just adding a little bit more litter to the litter boxes. Then the hermit crab shells have been boiling for a while, so I go ahead and take that off and put them on a little mat to dry. And then here I'm going ahead and giving Milo his gum medication and brushing his teeth. So Milo has a little bit of gum disease. It's really normal for domesticated cats just because of how inbred they are, but it's really important to brush their teeth so that you can prevent stuff like that. I'm also giving Shadow some gum medication, but it was really bad, so I cut most of it out. And then here I am filling the cat water dish. I'm just like rinsing it out. Again, I don't do this on a daily basis, but it happened to fall on this day that it was out of water. And every time it runs out of water, I just go ahead and scrub it and clean it up. And I'm also cleaning the floor because Milo like shakes his head after he drinks and sprays water everywhere. So it was like really really disgusting, so I was just kind of cleaning the floor up before I put the waterer back. And then I'm going ahead and I actually dipped all of the shells into salt water after I boiled them. This just helps entice the crabs to want to switch shells. And then I went ahead and dried them out a little bit and put them back into the tank. And that's basically it. That's kind of my daily pet care routine. Again, some of this stuff I don't do daily, and then there's other things I didn't show that I didn't have to do on this day. But I thought this would just be an interesting video as I don't normally show my other pets or how I take care of them.
Hey guys, so today's video is going to be like a daily sort of pet routine because I'm going to be going away to college soon. Now my parents do know what to do with my pets, but I just want to make this video for like a reference thing, so if they forget anything they always have this to refer back to. That's the guinea pig's food. lighting right now is absolutely horrendous, but it is very late. Well, it's like 9 o'clock, which isn't that late really, but yeah. So I've got some fresh forage which my mum went out and collected when she walked Vinny, and so on an evening this will do the rabbits and the guinea pigs outside, or if there is no fresh food, just give them like vegetables. So and then the guinea pigs, if there is leftovers, they can have the forage obviously, but I normally just feed them vegetables, so I'm gonna go feed these guys now. I can't believe how dark it is right now. I bet all you guys will be watching this right now in bed or somewhere warm. I'm out here, so hopefully this is making you feel cozy or something. By the way, how cute are these fairy lights? They're like rainbow coloured. I'm gonna go in and feed them before they go crazy. So, oh, is this everyone? Because it's not actually that cold tonight. So I'm going to leave the little door open. When it does get colder later on, I will start shutting this, or my parents, whoever's going to be at home at the time. Hi! Roxy and Tea Cake always lost to the party. So I'm just going to go chuck this in, like, just spread it around. This is by far their favourite food, and probably the best thing they can be eating. So that's pretty much the whole routine, and that's like, well, everything that needs doing in a day basically, or every other day, as some things such as the cleaning of the guinea pig's cage can be done every other day. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna also go and top up the guinea pig's hay rack so they have enough for the whole night. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this. Hope you've enjoyed seeing the video, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!
Hello piggy people, so tonight I want to show you what my routine is every morning and every night for Apple Dumpling. So if you don't know, she's my piggy who has a stone in her kidney. Previously she's had lots of bladder stones. So I just want to show you what our routine is. So first we're going to start off with giving her Medicam and her urinary support tablet. There you are. Good girl. So that's our first step. Medicam is a bit of a pain med and also an anti-inflammatory, because she does have a stone embedded high up in her urethra, which causes her irritation. And the urinary support tab is just to help with any sludge in her pee. And it also has extra vitamin C and some B vitamins in it. Then next we give Tramadol, which is an opiate pain med. And along with that, I make sure to give her some Sherwood recovery food. When you're giving out pain meds, you should make sure they have something on their tummy. And then I'm also going to give her a herbal med that is stone breaker to help with kidney stones. So next step is I get Apple out of the cage. I don't have her just yet because I get my stuff prepped first. So she does have to get her Tramadol, which is in liquid form in here. So once I give her her Tramadol, I give her some Sherwood recovery food to make sure she has some food in her system, because pain medications, you need something going through your system or it can be quite harsh on your tummy. So we feed the Sherwood recovery food. So the kind that I have, all the stuff comes in packets now. So I just have to open a small packet, mix it with water, and what I don't use I put in the fridge. So I use up this packet amount. It says it does about 45 milliliters. In about 24 hours. You don't want to keep it too much longer than that. Now the next thing that we're using is this. It's called Stone Breaker. So this is specifically supposed to be targeted for your kidneys and gallbladder. Obviously this is a human product, so this is one thing that I'm like not telling anybody to use for their guinea pig. You'd have to clear it with your vet if you want to, like, you know, that's up to you, but I'm just telling you this is what I'm using. I'm not saying it works or it's going to do anything for her, but I'm trying to promote kidney health for her, and if there was a chance it could shrink her stone or break it apart, cool. So anyway, this comes in capsules, so she gets half a capsule worth every morning and then the other half at night, so a full capsule, I guess you could say, per day. So there's some water in this dish here, and I just open the capsule up and take about half of it out, put the little cap back on, and it goes back in the jar. So she likes the flavor of this, so I just have to mix it up in here. And the water amount that I have in here probably does about 3 of these syringes, so about 3 mils. And then I have another 3 ml syringe that I put the water in there to get every last bit out. So that's giving her an extra 6 mils in the morning and an extra 6 mils of water at night, just to get that through her system. So next I am going to get our little patient out and give her all this stuff. Alright, so I have Apple out. First thing she's going to get is Tramadol. Now the Tramadol she doesn't care for very much. Maybe it tastes a bit bitter, but it's mixed with strawberry. So I only have to do, right now she's at 0.25 mils twice a day. So I put it in and I hold her head back just a little bit to make sure that she swallowed it, because Apple is notorious if she doesn't want something to let it pour out of her mouth. So that's that. So next I just gotta get my stuff here closer. You gotta stay on camera. Everybody's watching. Sorry if my arm's reaching in front, this is really awkward. Okay, so next is the recovery food. She's not the best for taking this either. Sometimes she likes it, sometimes she just gets annoyed, but that's Apple's personality. She kind of gets annoyed at stuff if you're doing what she doesn't want you to be doing. But I like to try to give her as much as she'll take fairly willingly. I mean, I kind of have to force it a little bit, but I want to make sure she gets some food going through her system. And it's a nice extra boost because this has extra vitamin C, and it also has B vitamins, things to help with her digestion, a little extra fiber, all that good stuff. Well, she must be fairly hungry today because she's taking it pretty easily. I mean, she's an awesome pig. She just can be very, very stubborn. Whereas some of the other pigs, like, they'll eat the syringe with this in it if they could. She just sometimes really doesn't want you to bug her. But she doesn't have a choice. So this is what we do every morning and every night. So I have to get up extra early to make sure I have time before work. So I give myself about an extra half hour so that I can sit here with her to feed her and get all her meds in. Good job, sweetie. So the other thing I'm going to give her is this Stone Breaker. So as you can see, this is a really dark liquid. So it has herbs in there that are supposed to be good for cleansing your kidneys. She does like this flavor. I just have to push it in slowly so that she doesn't let it pour out of her mouth again. Good girl. And this is a nice way to get some more fluids into her so that she's a little extra hydrated. Overall, I'd say Apple's doing very stable. She still does have peeing problems, so I think she's gonna forever have to be kept shaved. But I think a lot of it is being a bit incontinent from that stone high up in her urethra, so I don't think it's something that we can ever fix. So just gonna pour the rest of our water in here because I want to get all of the stuff out. Now it looks like muddy water. Have a bit more. Good girl. Good girl. So yeah, this is basically what I do for the next little while. Just sit here with her. I'm also doing belly baths still for her. So as you guys can see, she's already like, yeah, I don't want any more of this junk. But it's kind of too bad. So I'm still doing belly baths because she still does have the peeing problem. And even though she's shaved, it doesn't stick on her skin, making her all wet, but she still has the tendency to get a little bit of, you know, sore skin if you let that pee sit there. So I'm doing about every other day of washing her belly and bum. And then I put on coconut oil, or I have like that calendula lotion. Just kind of mix it up between what I put on there. And like, her skin's staying nice. It just sometimes you can tell it's a little bit red right where most of her pee will sit. But doing the best that I can for that. I mean, I can't do much else than try to keep her super tidy. Okay guys, so I'm just going to keep feeding her. I don't know if people want to keep watching this. I guess I can keep it running, and if you don't want to watch, that's fine. I'll show you once I get her put back in the cage. Her walking around if you're curious. Good girl. Yeah, she's getting a bit full, but I like to make sure she gets all of this in. So I think if she stays stable, I think I'd probably go get her into the vet again for another x-ray maybe in a couple months. Like, probably about, at this time, another month and a half really, to see if anything's changed, or does she have any more stones made? What's that stone in her kidney look like? Does it still look the same? Just for curiosity. So who knows. And that Stonebreaker stuff, you can get it on Amazon, or actually I just saw now after a little bit of searching that the company is called Au Naturel, and they actually have their own website as well. So Valerie from Valerie's Zoo, well, Valerie's Cozy Shop and Piggy Stop now, she picked that up for us, which was really nice of her. So she's the one who introduced us to it, to giving it a try, because at this point it's one of those things that what have you got to lose? And if it helps her kidney function at all, or as I said, if there's some miracle that it helps do anything to the stone in a positive way, that would be cool. But I have no idea. But as I said before, as long as Apple is comfortable with her pain, I'm going to keep giving her what I can to see if I could do anything to help her. Good girl. Okay guys, so I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
If you like watching guinea pig videos, learning how to care for us, seeing product hauls or reviews, or really anything else guinea pig, please subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Down below I've left 2 more videos for you to pick from, so keep on watching.
Hey guys, it's me, Victoria, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. I upload pet videos every single Saturday, so if you enjoy my content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. In today's video, I am going to be doing a pet routine video. I know you guys really seem to enjoy watching how I care for my pets daily and what I do for them, so I hope you enjoy. So let's get into the video.
7:59 a.m.
So the first thing I do in the morning is I grab their dishes and I give them their pellets. They only get a little bit of pellets in their diet because I personally don't find pellets are the healthiest thing, but they do enjoy them, so they get that in the morning. Then while they're eating, I fill up their hay because it's usually low from the night before. So then I go and I feed the hamsters. I don't do this every single day because they don't need to be fed every day. I do it about every couple days. But on this day, it was feeding day. And of course I say good morning to the hamsters because usually it is early enough that they all are awake. And of course, Honey is waiting at the cage opening to come out because she really loves when I come up to her cage. So she just gets to kind of run around while I feed her. On days that I don't feed the hamsters, I do also give them a little extra treat, so there's Bumble eating a treat. Then I get to my spot cleaning, which I also don't do this every single day. I do it about every second day, and it basically just consists of me cleaning out their sand bath because that's where they usually use it as a litter box, and then I just sift through that and get rid of any like unwanted things. Tater Tot's wheel section, she shreds the paper towel that I put there to clean up any of the pee, so I have to change that out every couple of days and replace it with a new one. Also, in that corner, that is a giant food hoard. Then I go upstairs to Saffron, my crested gecko, and I of course mist him because he does need to be misted in the morning. Then I come downstairs and open the rabbit's baby gate and let them free roam. This is the time that I like to spend with them and kind of hang out with them while they free roam around the bunny-proofed basement. Then while the rabbits are playing, I just sweep up some of the poops they get on the carpet. Yes, my rabbits are litter box trained, but they do get poop on the carpet sometimes because rabbits like to use their poop to mark their territory. And then I also just quickly vacuum up any of like pieces of litter because it does get stuck to their paws. Then on some days we take Isabella, my English bulldog, to the park that is near us and she gets to go for a really nice walk.
1 hour later.
Then I get started with making the hamster and rabbit salads. The hamsters don't get salads every single day. They get their little extras every second day, and then the rabbits do, of course, get their salads once a day. And now, because a lot of people seem to enjoy it, you guys can enjoy some rabbit ASMR eating. As you can see, you're mostly seeing Lola because Cleo was very picky with the new vegetables I decided to try out, so she only wanted to eat the romaine lettuce. Then I just give the hamsters their salads as well, and they generally don't come out right away as soon as I give it to them. Only some of them do, but generally during the night they'll come and eat it. Then I like to spend a little bit of time with my cat Callie, so I will either play with her or sometimes I will just sit and watch TV with her and kind of cuddle, so it just depends on the day.
p.m.
So then Saffron gets his food. Of course, he doesn't get this every single day. He gets his mix every second day. So I mix that up for him. And then, of course, I give him his nightly misting. Then I give the rabbits their nightly pellets. They get the same amount of pellets they do in the morning, but they get it at nighttime. And then because it is nighttime, this is when I like to take all of the hamsters out and play with each one and do some bonding with them and just play with them in a playpen. So yeah, that is my whole pet routine. Of course, I do other things during my day, but they don't really involve the animals, but that is what I do for my pets daily. I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye!
I move on to Saffron's room, where I have to mist him in the morning so that it gets his humidity in his tank up, as well as I go ahead and just fill up his little water dish. Crested geckos don't always use a water dish, but I just like to have one in there just in case. Then I come back downstairs to my room and turn my air purifier up, which today's video is actually sponsored by Levoit. The Levoit air purifier protects your home from a wide variety of contaminants, such as smoke, unpleasant odors, other pollutants, as well as cleans the air of dust mites, pollen, pet dander, and neutralizes mold spores and airborne bacteria before it affects your health. This can be really good for animals with sensitive respiratory systems like small animals and birds, as well as yourself, of course. The air purifier has 3 fan speeds for various conditions, which work great for making a white noise at night, as well as it has a nightlight with 2 brightness settings. I also wanted to show you guys the amount of dust and fur it has picked up in the last 2 weeks, and it definitely has made me feel a lot better that I have something to clean my air. So if you would like to get one for yourself, I've left the link in the description bar for you guys to check out. Then I go ahead and start to clean up the rabbits area from the night before, because poop tends to fling out of the litter box, same with hay. They also like to redecorate their area, which we tend to have a lot of arguments on where things should go because they don't like the way I decorate, but it goes where I want it to go. So I just sweep all of that up, and then I grab out my hand vacuum and get any of the little pieces I didn't get, and then I fix a lot of the stuff in their enclosure. Then I go ahead and I just grab the hay rack and I fill up both of the litter boxes with hay, because generally it has deplenished from the night. all around the cage. This is a really great way to get her to forage, and she just absolutely loves doing it. And while Bumble is foraging for her seeds and everything, I am just going to go ahead and set up the playpen for her in my room so that she can come out for some free roaming time. And when she goes back, we cannot forget to give her a treat, which today I gave her a peanut. Then I go ahead and make the rabbit's nightly salad. This just once again is another 2 cups of vegetables. And then finally I get to draw the blinds and then set my air purifier to a lower fan setting so it's a bit quieter. And then I get to dive bomb into bed and finally go to bed. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this routine. Bye!
From trancing to microchipping, rabbit care really has come a long way the past 20 to 30 years, and new developments are always arising on how to keep those buns of steel. Pun intended, or should I say bun intended? Seeing as how we've just entered a new decade, let's take a look at the big do's and don'ts of rabbit care of today. Today's video is brought to you by Roborock. As a bunny mom, I'm always on the hunt for a good vacuum, and I'm absolutely loving their E25 robot vacuum cleaner. If you lead a busy life like me, you'll find this is a huge time saver. I can just turn it on via my phone where it shows me the exact path it's taking, and it gets to work while I'm doing my own work as well. Being cordless also makes it perfect to use around bunnies because bunnies love to chew cords. And I have to say, my biggest test for this vacuum was around Lennon's litter box, where there's tons of fur, hay, and pellets, and I was thoroughly impressed with how clean it left the area. This vacuum is anti-collision, has self-recharging and resumption, and the added bonus of a mopping feature as well. I'm going to go ahead and link the Roborock E25 in the description below, so please check them out. Alright, right, let's begin with the big do's and don'ts of rabbit care. Don't feed your rabbits lots of sweets. Guys, I know this one's hard. That little puppy face they give you is just irresistible. And quite frankly, when Lennon begs, it's very manipulative. It just makes me want to give her an entire box of Cheerios. But we must remember that rabbit bellies are so fragile, and too much sugar or anything outside of their normal high-fiber diet can send them into GI stasis. And trust me, you don't want your rabbit to go into GI stasis. If you don't know what GI stasis is, I'll link the video in the iCard above. Do give your bunnies unlimited grass hay, leafy green veggies according to their weight, and yes, reward your bunny once or twice a day with a healthy goodie such as a small bite of fruit to remind them just how gorgeous they are. Everyone deserves a little sweetness every now and then. Don't trance your bunnies. This is a big no-no. Trancing is the action of placing a rabbit on its back to induce a paralysis. Sometimes people think that a cradling motion is comforting to rabbits, but guys, just a little reminder, they're not human babies. This is a very stressful position for the rabbit to be in and is a defense mechanism for when the rabbit feels it's been caught by a predator. Even scientific studies have shown that rabbit heart rates increase dramatically when being tranced. Do give your bunny head rubs, ear massages, nose nudges, belly rubs, snuggles, and the list goes on to show them that you love them. It's pretty simple, really. Don't bathe your bunny. It's totally unnecessary and can potentially kill your rabbit. Rabbits have very thin skin and very dense coats. It takes twice the time for a rabbit's coat to dry than it does most dogs. This can cause your rabbit's temperature to drop almost immediately, sending them into hypothermia. Furthermore, submerging a rabbit in water can also send them into shock, which is worse than hypothermia because often the bunny will not recover from such trauma. Do let your bunny clean themselves naturally. They're kind of germaphobes, and like cats will groom themselves on the daily to make sure that they're staying fresh at all times. If your rabbit gets dirty for whatever reason, you can use a damp cloth or pet-safe wipes on any soiled areas. Don't buy a small cage. Cages are a cruel practice of the past. They can cause depression, aggression, obesity, odors, sores on the bottoms of the paws, and the list goes on. Do give your bunny free range of a room or your house if possible, but sometimes an exercise pen can suit them as well if big enough. Don't buy a rabbit for children. Yes, sometimes parents will buy bunnies for their children thinking it will teach them responsibility or to avoid having to get a bigger animal like a dog. But most children really can't comprehend the amount of work that goes into taking care of an animal, especially a high-maintenance one like a rabbit. Sometimes, if the child is even too young, they have trouble discerning when to be gentle with bunnies. And if the child is on the older side, you really have to think about what their future plans are. College, a job, moving out, and what predicament this puts your rabbit's life in. Do acquire a bunny when you feel financially ready, mature, responsible, and live in a place that allows you to have an animal in the home. Don't pick up your bunnies by the scruff. It's just kind of rude and painful for the bunny, and considering these little guys are prey animals, picking them up the same way a hawk would, yeah, not cool and an easy way to send them into shock. Do pick them up by their hindquarters with one hand while supporting their midsection with the other. It's important to remember bunnies don't really like being picked up, but whenever it is necessary to do so, this is definitely the best way to make them most comfortable. Don't leave your rabbit alone for an extended period of time. Rabbits are social creatures that require interaction and affection. Although they do sleep during the day, they can't really fend for themselves like cats and do need to be monitored closely during their active hours. So yeah, that weekend trip, you'll have to get a bunny sitter for that. Do spend lots of time with your bunny and check up on them regularly to make sure they're not sick, malnourished, or dehydrated. Many people will also bond 2 or more rabbits together to create a lasting companionship and prevent boredom. Don't give your bunnies drip bottles. To this day, you'll see these things being sold for rabbits at pet stores, but don't be fooled. Bunnies are actually at risk of dehydration when using these. Furthermore, the BPA in the plastic isn't good for your bunnies or the environment, and bottles are much harder to clean than bowls. Do give your bunnies a nice big bowl of water where they can drink without any restrictions. A heavy bowl and a stand will prevent them from tipping it. Don't take your rabbit to just any vet. Rabbits are weirdly still considered exotic in many parts of the world. Thus, you can't just take your rabbit to any cat and dog vet around the corner. Rabbit medical care is often viewed as a very specialized practice, and most regular vets won't know what to do if you show up with a sick rabbit. Do search for a rabbit-savvy vet in your area that is reputable, has good reviews, regularly sees rabbits, or works with local rabbit rescues. Having this prepared ahead of an emergency will save you lots of time, money, and potentially your rabbit's life. Don't house your rabbits outside. Rabbits have a history of being housed outside because they were bred as meat. Not to mention, the outdoors carry major risks such as predators like hawks, snakes, owls, foxes, raccoons, etc. These hungry predators can destroy a hutch within minutes or taunt your rabbits to the point of shock. Bunnies can also escape their enclosures and wind up lost or hit by a car. Let's not forget extreme weather, diseases, and poisonous plants. Do keep your bunnies indoors in a safe, bunny-proofed environment where you can interact with them on a daily basis and give them lots of love. And finally, don't shop for rabbits, guys. Buying rabbits that are bred on purpose to produce profit only contributes to the overpopulation and exploitation of rabbits and excludes the abundance of rabbits that are homeless. Do adopt your bunny from your local animal shelter, rabbit rescue, or humane society. There are so many bunnies that are dumped every single day and are looking for a forever home. Be the one who rescues, for they will rescue you in return. Well, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed all the big do's and don'ts of rabbit care. Obviously, there are plenty more that haven't been mentioned in this video, but if you have any of your own tips that you'd love to share, please do so in the comments below. If you want to see more of these videos, don't forget to hit subscribe and the little notification bell, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.
Hey guys, this is Haley, and today I'm going to be showing you guys what to feed a baby rabbit. So this diet is for any rabbit 7 weeks to 6 months of age. Before 7 weeks, rabbits should still be with their mother and drinking milk from their mother still, and this is kind of like when they start to wean. After 7 weeks, this is when they start becoming a little bit more independent and start to be able to eat completely on their own. So I'm just gonna go through all the things your baby rabbit should be eating, how much to feed them, and what time to start everything, as I know a lot of people can get really confused and really stressed out about this process. So something your rabbit will always need is fresh water provided in a dish 24/7. Pet stores do sell bottles for rabbits to drink out of. I personally would never feed a rabbit water out of a water bottle just because the tip does not allow enough water to come out, and rabbits actually drink the same amount as a 20-pound dog. So because of that, they need to have a dish that allows them to drink as much as they want, as easily as they can. When a rabbit drinks out of a bottle, a lot of the times they'll grab it with their teeth and shake it around because they get very frustrated that they can't get enough water out. So that is why I personally feed water from a dish. So if your rabbit is currently drinking out of a bottle and you'd like to switch them to a dish, just put a dish of water in there along with the bottle for a while and wait for your rabbit to start drinking out of the dish. Most likely they will start drinking out of the dish once it's provided, just because it is way more natural for rabbits to drink that way, and they just like it a lot better. As far as keeping the dish clean, some people worry about this. Honestly, as long as you are emptying it, rinsing it, and refilling it twice a day, there will be no problem with it being too dirty or whatever. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is hay. Just like adult rabbits, baby rabbits need hay 24/7. This should be provided in like a hay rack, in their litter box or some sort of basket, something that's really easy for them to access and eat. Sometimes it's hard to get baby rabbits to start eating more hay, and because of that you do have to offer a couple of different kinds of hay. Just see what they like. A lot of people say to only feed baby rabbits alfalfa hay. Now it's completely fine for baby rabbits to have alfalfa hay and alfalfa pellets, but it's not like a rule that they have to only eat that. A lot of times it's really nice to mix in a grass hay along with alfalfa hay, because then once they need to be weaned off of alfalfa, they'll already be used to the grass hay. So as far as hay, I would personally mix alfalfa and grass hay in your baby rabbit's diet, just so that the transition is much easier, and grass hay is totally safe for babies. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is pellets. A lot of people recommend that baby rabbits be fed alfalfa pellets unlimited. Now, some people do choose to feed this way, and it's not wrong. It's completely safe for baby rabbits, but actually, most often babies do not need unlimited pellets. A lot of the times that makes them not eat as much hay, and hay is the most important thing, especially in baby rabbits, because their gut is it's developing still and very sensitive. So the more hay they eat, the healthier their gut will be and the healthier they will be. So if you're feeding too many pellets, then sometimes they aren't getting the hay that they need to keep themselves healthy. Because of this, you can start measuring, like a half cup or fourth cup, whatever you want a day for your rabbit to eat out of. At the beginning, of course, you're gonna wanna start out with a larger quantity and then slowly decrease the quantity, as you do not want to make diet changes quickly because that can upset rabbits' stomachs. So personally with Sterling, I just kind of watched to see how much pellets he actually ate, and then just fed him that much once a day or twice a day, split it up. And he did really great on that. He started eating a lot more hay, which is what I really wanted. And so as for the pellet type, whether you want to do alfalfa or Timothy, it's completely up to you, whatever you prefer. Oxbow sells a baby rabbit food, and then they also sell a adult rabbit food that you can switch to later, so that's a really great option. But if you want to just feed Timothy right away, that is fine. That's kind of what I did with Sterling. So once they start getting a little bit older, I would say probably 3-4 months, I would really start to decrease the pellets. I would say probably fourth cup to a couple tablespoons a day. So this does depend on your rabbit and how big they are. If they're going to be a giant, they need a lot more food than smaller rabbits, so you do have to take that into consideration when trying to decide how much pellets you're going to feed. Just make sure you're not feeding too much so that your rabbit will become obese, and don't be afraid of feeding too little, because honestly hay is the #1 important thing in their rabbit's diet. So if they aren't eating a ton of pellets, they'll just eat more hay, which is great. So again, I would about 3 or 4 months start decreasing those pellets so that they're about the pellets that they should be on when they're an adult. And the adult amount is a 1/4 cup for 6 pounds of body weight. So you can adjust this for your personal rabbit. A lot of people do less than that. They like do a couple tablespoons a day or whatever. So it really depends on your rabbit and how your rabbit weighs and stuff and how much exercise they're getting. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is veggies. Now, a lot of people probably think that baby rabbits cannot have veggies, and I also have gotten a lot of questions asking how to introduce vegetables correctly, when can my rabbit start eating veggies, and all that type of stuff. So it is kind of true and kind of false that baby rabbits can have fresh veggies, and that is when they are very young, like a couple weeks old, couple months old. Personally, I probably wouldn't feed too many veggies at that point, just because their gut is still really developing, and the best thing for them at that age is just to have a lot of hay and a lot of roughage. So normally when they're very young, you do not want to give fresh vegetables and stuff like that. People recommend to wait until they're about 3 months old, or until they've been on grass hay for at least 2 weeks. The reason they need to be on grass hay is that this creates a really healthy gut, and so once you start feeding them fresh vegetables, it won't get upset or anything. A lot of people will try vegetables and then their rabbit will get, you know, runny poop, and then they'll be like, my rabbit can't eat vegetables because it gets an upset stomach from it. So rabbits in the wild were created to eat like grass and fresh produce all day long, and that's what they eat. So honestly, fresh vegetables is really healthy for them, and most rabbits are completely fine with fresh vegetables once you introduce them correctly. So again, the first step is to wait 2 weeks after they have been on grass hay so that their gut is nice and healthy. After that, you want to introduce very slowly some vegetables into your rabbit's diet. So normally what I do is just take a tiny little piece of romaine, red leaf or green leaf, something really easy on a rabbit's stomach, and I just give them a little piece one day, and then I wait until the next day to give them any more. So during that period, you want to watch and make sure they aren't having runny poop, and if they are, then you're just going to want to wait until that they stop having that. So really push the hay, try to get them to eat a lot more hay. During this time, I try to offer a lot of different types of hay, like orchard grass, Timothy, meadow hay. You know, there's a ton of different grass hays out there, so just try to give them a lot of hay so that they are eating a lot of hay. Normally my rabbits will have a little bit of runny poop like the first vegetable I ever try, and that's completely normal, and it's totally fine as long as you don't like just keep increasing the vegetables and making it worse and worse. So if they do have runny poop, you know, just slow down and take away that vegetable, don't feed that for a while, and just wait for the runny poop to disappear. After about a day with solid poop, you can try again, same little amount, probably try a different type of veggie this time, different type of lettuce or something like that, and see how they react. Normally rabbits react really good to romaine. I've never really had issues with that, as long as you go slow. So just keep giving them a tiny little piece every day. After a couple days, you can start increasing the amount you give. Don't give like an obnoxious amount, but you know, just slowly increase it. So I would say by about a week, I had Sterling on a full piece of romaine lettuce. So once your rabbit is eating one piece of lettuce completely fine, you can try a different type of vegetable like kale, collard greens, you know, some herbs or anything like that. And I'll link a link in the description on safe rabbit food that you can give, like safe vegetables. And just like before, start with a small piece and gradually increase. So that is pretty much how you do it, and eventually you want your rabbit up to 1 cup of vegetables for every 2 pounds of body weight. Ideally, you'll want them on that amount by their 6 months of age so that they're on the adult rabbit diet by then. But if you got your rabbit, like, you know, towards the end of its baby stage and it's just introducing vegetables, be sure to just take your time. Like, you do not want to rush it, you don't want to push it and make them have an upset stomach or anything like that. So last but not least is treats. I know a lot of you are going to want to give a lot of treats because your rabbit is so cute when you bring them home, but please try to restrict yourself and not feed too many. Sugary treats can really upset a rabbit's stomach, especially at this young age, but they can have a small amount. Now, I would personally try something very small, like a little piece of a dried carrot, a little piece of a dried fruit or something like that. Probably a vegetable would probably be more mild, not as sugary as fruit, so it's really up to you, but don't give too much. Also, stay away from all of those really nasty processed treats. Oxbow does sell some good processed treats, but other than that, a lot of them are really bad. Cereals, wheat, flour, anything like that is a big no-no in rabbits' diets, especially dairy. Dairy is not good either. So I probably wouldn't feed treats every day, especially at this young age. And I also probably would not give treats until the rabbit is old enough to eat vegetables at around like 3 months or so, and after they've been eating grass hay, just to know that their stomach is going to handle it okay. And in the beginning, when you're introducing new vegetables, that is kind of going to be a treat to your bunny, so they really don't need any other treats at that point. Once they start getting older and you know their stomach is handling a lot of stuff, then obviously you can start feeding a little bit more treats. But also know that treats are just fed sparingly, even with adult rabbits. I only give, you know, a couple treats a day, even if that. Like sometimes I don't even give treats every day. So it really just depends, and make sure to stick with healthy treats. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that gave you a little bit about what baby rabbits should be eating. Remember to always ask your rabbit vet if their diet is good, if it needs any adjusting. And also remember, each rabbit is different and is gonna, you know, accept things differently and have different speeds on, you know, introducing vegetables and all that. So don't feel bad if your rabbit is behind or ahead, because there is no really strict schedule. So just relax and have fun with it, and I'm sure your rabbit will do great. If you have any further questions, be sure to leave them down below. If your rabbit ever stops eating or ever is acting sick, please bring them to the vet ASAP. Do not contact me, because I will most likely not get back to you in time, as a lot of people ask me questions. So please just take them to Rabbit Savvy Vet. It could save their life. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be sure to be back with a new video very soon. Bye!